Hi guys, I hope you are doing well. Yesterday we had promised that we are going to do question number 3. So yeah, here is our question number 3. It's under or from the topic, which is nature of what? Of roots, under the section. Yeah, my equations are grade 11. So 3.1 is saying the roots of a quadratic equation are given by x equal to minus 3 plus or minus square root of minus 7m plus 3, all that divided by 4. So in this type of a question, good people, it is very important to understand the meaning of the roots. What do we mean by saying the roots? So the roots basically means the solutions. So there was a quadratic equation that was solved using the quadratic formula, and the solutions happened to be like this. Now, if the solutions are like that, they want us to determine the value or values of m for which this equation will have two equal roots. So should this means grade 11, there was a certain quadratic equation that was solved using this formula here, minus b plus minus square root of what? Of b squared minus 4ac divided by what? Divided by 2a. After they had substituted the value of a, b, and c into this equation, this is what they found. Now they are saying to us, if we were to continue here, we want to have at the end equal roots, meaning two values that are the same in nature. So what should be the value of m so that these values can be the same, or the solutions can be what? Can be the same. Now this is a broad topic, but I'm just going to concentrate on this question that is in front of us right now. So now what is important is to see that the value of m that we want to solve is here. Why is it there? It is because for us to determine the nature of roots, we use what? The discriminant, or what is under the square root in this quadratic formula. So this is how we indicate the discriminant. Indicate it with that delta sign. So this is our discriminant. And for us to say the roots are going to be the same, or the roots are going to be equal, this discriminant here must be equal to 0. So this is an equation which will be very useful in determining the value of m here. Remember, we want to solve. So for us to solve, we need to have an equation. Where are we going to get that equation? We are getting it from the fact that for us to have equal roots, the discriminant must be equal to what? Must be equal to 0. So this means that umsebenzi usuwenzeliwe. All work now is to continue and solve for that value of m. So that's what we are going to do basically in this type of a problem. So they said the roots must be what? Must be equal. Therefore the discriminant must be equal to 0. What is the discriminant? The discriminant is what is under the square root here, b squared minus 4ac. But remember, that was already done for you. So that is minus 7m plus 3. So we're simply going to say this minus 7m plus 3 must be equal to 0 in order for us to have equal roots. And then after that, we solve for m. So this is 3 equal to 7m. Look what I've done here. I'm transposing 7m because I hate working with a negative number. So after transposing 7m, then I can divide by 7 both sides, and then the value of m is equal to what? Is equal to 3/7. So we are having just one value here that will make this certain quadratic equation to have what? To have equal roots. Well, I understand it's just 2 marks, but I believe I had to make those type of explanations for you to better understand the question. Mark allocation, there's 1 mark for understanding that the discriminant must be equal to 0, and then the second mark for getting that solution of m equal to 3/7. All right, and then after that we have 3.1.2. okay, please bear with me while I'm erasing this. So 3.1.2t, we're still working with the same question, but now they are saying it is also possible in this quadratic equation to have the solutions or the roots that are what? That are non-real, depending on the value of m. So the question is, what should be that value of m so that the roots, so that we can say the roots are non-real? Again, we said all that depends on the discriminant. Remember, for equal roots, we said the discriminant must be equal to 0, and we solved that equation. This time, we want the roots to be what? To be non-real. So the answer to this thing can only be non-real if what is under the square root here is negative. But remember, in mathematics, if we are talking about a negative number, we can also say that number is less than 0. Hence, we are going to say for us to have non-real roots, the discriminant must be what? Less than 0. That is our first statement. But what is the discriminant? The discriminant is what is under the square root there. So what is under the square root is minus 7 plus 3. Okay, so it's minus 7. M plus 3 must be less than 0 for us to have what? Non-real roots. Okay, maybe let me just leave minus 7 here so that I can explain something here. I'm transposing minus 3. So when I'm transposing minus 3, remember the sign will remain the same. And then be careful now. If, let me make this example. If I have 2 numbers, 1 and 2, at this moment, you can see that 2 is greater than 1. But if I can maybe multiply these 2 numbers by a negative, you see I'm going to have minus 1 here and minus 2 here. So do you see now that the value which is less than the other now is minus 2? Why am I explaining this? I'm explaining it because if you divide here by minus 7 and you divide by minus here, something has to happen in that inequality sign there. So if I divide by minus both sides, I am going to have m greater than 3/7 now. Why is that? Remember this, if you divide by minus both sides, you are actually going to have that sign ishintsha kanjiyana. Njengoba ishintshile uma ngabe simultiply 1 no 2 ngobani? Ngo-minus bobabili. So please be careful. This is also one thing that you guys normally forget when you are answering this type of questions. All right, that is 3.1. Mark allocation yethu The first mark obviously is for remembering that important statement to say the discriminant must be less than 0 for you to have non-real roots, and then the second answer is for you to have that final answer. Okay.